It's the sports news, and do we have a jam-packed show for you? We got our football review, preview, and lots of interviews coming up as we'll take to the ice, go to the courts, and much more. Stick around. The headlines are next. They're powered by the Red Zone over on Regent Street and Conan Automotive in Stoughton. That's right, the sports news straight ahead on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. Welcome on into the sports news, your 30-minute look into the tackles, hits, checks, and dunks that make up the local sports scene. I'm your host, Rich Reynolds, and let's hit the ground running. Now, this is our 2016 Prep Football Review Preview as we put a wrap on the regular season and gear up for the WIAA playoffs. Now, let's start in the Big Eight, where before the season started, the State Journal had Middleton and Madison Memorial as co-favorites to win the crown. Well, I guess that's why they play the games. Verona was a 52-20 winner over Janesville Craig, while Sun Prairie defeated La Follette 31-7 on Friday night, as the Wildcats and Cardinals will share Big 8 title honors. In Level 1 action, Verona is a 3 seed and will host Arrowhead, while the top-seeded Cardinals will be at home against La Follette. Now, elsewhere in the conference, Middleton will play at Oconomowoc, while Madison West checks in and suits up at Lake Geneva Badger. In the Badger North, Waunakee went undefeated to win the conference. The 9-0 Warriors will square off against their rivals, the DeForest Norskies, on Friday night. Runner-up Mount Horeb Barneveld, whose only loss was to Waunakee, is a 2 seed in D3 and hosts Delavan Darien. Now, the Badger South also featured an undefeated team, the Monroe Cheesemakers. They are a top seed and are at home against Reedsburg. Monona Grove is a 5th seed in D2. They're at Waterford, while Stoughton checks in as a 6th seed and is at Waukesha West. The Columbus Cardinals ran away with the Capital North and are 9-0 and are the top-ranked team in D5 as they actually get dropped a division for the playoffs. Columbus will be at home against Whitefish Bay Dominican. The Glarner Knights of New Glarus Monticello captured the Capital South title and check in as a 5 seed and will be on the road in Arcadia. Over in the Rock Valley Conference, they had co-champions as Clinton and Evansville Albany both won 8-1. The EA Blue Devils will play in D3 and are a 5 seed. As they get bumped up, they will take to the road and play at Fort Atkinson. While in 8-man football, our very own Mark Martinez and his first-ranked Madison Abundant Life St. Ambrose team beat Green Bay New Lutheran School 60-16 to remain undefeated. Now, for more information and all the 411 on our headlines, check out these fine websites. Stick around. Interviews are coming up next on the sports news here on Wisconsin's 57 Sports. You know, one of the cool things about the Madison Capitals is that they're kind of a family affair out at the Coliseum. Lots of suitors running around. In fact, they brought a suitor in this year to also be the assistant coach, and that is Jake Suter, who is joining us now on the program. And Jake, welcome to the sports news, first of all. And secondly, let's talk about the Capitals. They opened at home this past weekend. What are some of the strengths that people are going to see when they come out to see the Caps?
Yeah, we had our first home opener there Friday, and just a real hard-working team, kind of a blue-collar team. A lot of local kids that are proud to play here in their hometown. So it'll be a fun year.
Yeah, and for you, it's your first season as coaching. So tell us a little bit, how do you like being on the bench and seeing the game from that aspect?
It's awesome. It's been a lot of fun so far. It's definitely very different from being a player. A lot of stuff that when you're a player you don't realize goes into the coaching, but it's been an awesome experience so far. You know, speaking of being a player, you played in the USHL, you played at UMass Lowell. So have you been able to use some of that experience that you gained as a player and take that and help to teach the Capitals? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm still pretty young. I'm only about 5-6 years older than some of the guys on the team, so it's been fun. I feel like they can relate to me and a little bit there, and I've been through it here recently, so I hope that I can help them go through some of the things that I've recently been going through. Are there times though, like during the games, because I got to imagine, you got to get that itch to lace the skates back up, don't you? Yeah, absolutely. It gets tough at times, but So it's also nice at times knowing you don't have to lace them up and go out there and run into the boards for 16 minutes.
True. Now, your dad, Gary Suter, he played in the NHL. Did he give you any advice when it comes to leading young men in the sport?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's always there for advice when I was playing and now coaching, so it's nice to have him as well as Ryan and me and Garrett lean on those guys a lot, and it's definitely a great resource to have.
It is. And speaking of great things that are going on at the Coliseum, this Friday is going to be the first dollar beer night of the season. Fans usually love this, and it's always a lot of fun. Tell us a little bit, if you could, how dollar beer night works.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock, the beer garden. It's right down there by the glass where our guys come out on the ice. And dollar beer night, I haven't been to one personally, but I've heard a lot of great reviews from some of my friends that go to them, and it's a great night for everybody.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things. They moved it down to the, actually being on the ice level last year, and you could watch the game, drink your beer. It's a really great aspect and a great way to watch the game. So as far as tickets goes, how can people grab them? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, just go right on madcapshockey.com there, call the front office, and they'll get you set up and come out for a fun night. 257-2277. Jake, thank you so much for being on the program. We'll see you this weekend. Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Brought to you by Conan Automotive, taking care of you by taking care of your family's car.
All right, with this interview, I hope that I kill it. Yeah, okay, that's a volleyball thing, maybe a really bad volleyball pun. Things that are not bad, though, is the Middleton boys volleyball team. Let's talk about them as we bring in Ben White, the head coach of the Middleton High School boys volleyball team. And Coach, welcome on in. And if you could, talk a little bit about your team and some of the success they've had so far this season.
Sure, thanks for having me. This year we're coming down the stretch. We have played well on some Saturdays. In the past 2 weekends, we've gone 10-2. Winning a tournament this past weekend, and then our only 2 losses during that time is to the #1 team in state. So we're finally starting to put it together, and really led by some of our senior captains, Cole Spittler and Ben Miller, and then our junior captain, libero Thomas Robson.
Yeah, you named them. You got 3 captains on the team. What do they bring to the team as far as leadership goes?
You know, it's really a nice balance. Cole last year for us was a role player as a junior, and this year we knew going into the season that we were going to need him to be our main weapon on the outside, and he's really stepped it up over the past couple weeks. Ben Miller's been on the team for 3 years, and just a solid presence in the back row, always calm. And then our junior libero captain, Thomas Robson's been on the team since his freshman year. He's already got a whole bunch of school records on digs, and looking to set a bunch more, and he's just a phenomenal player in the back row, and that's really how we control our games, is in our defense instead of our offense.
Now, what goals did you set going into this season, and have you been able to meet those goals?
Sure. This year, we started out simple. We wanted to just win conference, and we accomplished that goal. We've now won the Big 8 championship for 10 of the past 11 years, which is a pretty amazing run. And then, some of these guys have been to state and have tasted state, but have never won at state. And truthfully, our goal is to be playing on the last day. And I think that's a fun goal to have, a solid goal to have for this team, and hopefully one that we can accomplish.
So as the season's kind of winding down here and you're looking forward to going to state, what does the rest of the schedule look like for you?
We have a Big 8 conference tournament on Saturday, and then we have a nice non-conference match right before regionals. And hopefully it'll give us a test as we go into the playoffs, where we'll have to face a bunch of familiar opponents from the Big 8 and Classic 8.
Now, I know out west and in California and stuff, boys volleyball has really caught on. How is it growing here in Wisconsin, and is it a growing sport here?
It is a growing sport. We keep adding teams. Not so much in the Madison area, but more in the Fox Valley and the Milwaukee area. When I started coaching 16 years ago, we were about 30 teams. We're up in the upper 50s. And it's just a sport that kids have found out that, they can play year round, and they can play it, as they get older. We all see the leagues where you play at any establishment when you're 40s and 50s, and it's just a lifelong sport and lifelong learning. So it's really growing and taking off.
That's great to hear. When I was a kid, they only had it as an intramural sport, so to see it grow like that is fantastic. Coach, thanks for being with us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you for having me.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Love talking baseball and love talking Team Heat as well, because Team Heat, one of these local travel teams, is really one of the best and will help you get seen by college recruiters. And as proof of that, we're going to bring in a couple of former Team Heat members here now, as we have Jared Nelson and Ben Rorkvet, who are joining us right now. And gentlemen, thanks for joining us, and I want to talk about college. Jared, I know you're already there. Ben, you're going there. If you guys could, talk about your schools for us, please.
I currently attend Southmount Community College. I play catcher in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
I'm a senior at Veronier High School, and I'm committed to the University of Arkansas. I'm also a catcher as well, and yeah, so it's just nice getting down south and being able to play in the SEC conference.
I bet being able to play and practice year-round is always good stuff. So talk about like your schools and how they got a chance to see you for the first time, because a lot of people don't understand, how does that whole process work?
Well, being in Arizona, it was hard for me to get in front of my school, like personally, but it was good for me to send video down to them, and they were able to see me in action.
For me, just being able to attend bigger tournaments in the summer and get in front of the coaches, it was kind of cool for me because Arkansas didn't actually come to see me play. They came to see our pitcher play, and I was catching the pitcher, and they liked what they saw. They kept coming back. That was a tournament in Missouri. They saw me a couple games, and then they invited me on a recruiting visit, and fell in love with it, and no turning back from there.
Excellent stuff. That's always good when they like what they see. And talk about, too, a little bit the difference between playing high school baseball and then being on a travel team. So what are the main differences?
I would say, I mean, not only just the competition is totally different, but it's way more competitive, obviously. But just meeting new guys from all over the state or all over the country, it's a whole different experience. And it's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, I mean, high school, it's all the dudes that you've been playing with since Little League ball, and it's just fun having those memories for high school. But then summer ball is a lot of people coming together. Usually it's the select kids from high school that really take baseball in stride and really enjoy it and have a passion for it. And so they all come out with a team, and it's a lot more competitive, and there's a lot of better ball players in the summer.
How about tips for like guys that are in high school right now that are playing ball? How do they get to the next level?
Well, you obviously got to work hard towards it. That's the most important thing. If that's what they want to do, and that's my biggest recommendation for them, is just to work hard and have a love for the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and quickly, and Ben, maybe I'll ask you, favorite moment of playing with Team Heat? Well?
For me, I mean, just enjoying time with all the team and just the teammates and all the camaraderie is always a blast. Just meeting new friends and lifelong friends. I mean, I'll never forget it.
Great stuff. Ben and also Jared, thank you for joining us here, and we will have more right after this on Channel 57 Sports. All right, time now to check in on Wanakee and talk with their volleyball team, as a head coach Ann Dankert is here, along with Laurel Bailey and Courtney Strauss. And ladies, welcome on in. And Coach, if you could, talk to us a little bit how the season has gone so far. How have you progressed as a team?
Well, we started off with a 2-day tournament in the Wisconsin Dells and took second place. Then we hit off our own personal tournament that we hosted, took second, and then started the conference season. Unfortunately, we had a loss to Mount Horror, but I think that loss actually pushed the question of, are we doing the things we should be, and is this the lineup that we should be working with? And so it was back to the gym for problem solving, and since then we've had a lot of success from that match on, taking 2 tournaments, first place, and then winning the Badger Conference tournament as well. So sometimes I think you have to have those moments to figure out, is this the best that we have, or is there more to offer, and what are we going to do to be the best that we can.
Very nice, and nice that you're able to take something like that that's kind of adversity and be able to grow from that. So well done. And for the ladies, you know, as far as the season has gone, what have been the most memorable moments for you out on the court?
Well, my most memorable moments were definitely winning the tournaments. We won Edgewood and Middleton tournament, and those are 2 tournaments that Wanakee has never won in the past, so that was pretty special.
For me, probably getting my 1,000th kill. That was pretty awesome after, this is my 3rd year on varsity now. So to just get that 1,000th was really awesome during my last season.
Huge accomplishment, yeah. And Coach, going and talking a little bit about the strengths of this team, what do you think they are, and why are you gaining the success that you have?
I think part of the success is great leadership, and obviously your captains right here in front of you are the heart and soul of that leadership. I think, we only have 4 seniors, we have 4 sophomores, and then juniors, so we have a lot of varying degrees of ability, but also I think within those, they all have attributes that have made us better. We have some nice middles and really good ball control. So with all that comes fun offense and some exciting matches. So I think, when you're talking about players, I think we have all the parts and pieces right now that are making it work, and it's paying off. We're winning some tough matches, and but yet we always feel like we have still things to work on, and we keep going back to the gym and working on those things.
And Laurel, for you guys to have a chance at state, what do you think you need to do?
I think we just need to focus hard on practice and keep working on the small things to gain more momentum and push us hopefully to state.
Courtney, do you guys have the team chemistry to do it?
We definitely do. Even with all the hours that we spend together at practice and tournaments, we're always together, like at school, and even after practice we'll even hang out.
I love it. Ladies, thank you for being on the show. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
A special thank you to Conan Automotive in Stoughton for supporting local athletics.
Rock Valley Conference Champions. That's got a nice ring to it, and that is the title given to the Evansville Albany Blue Devils as they come in right now and join us. We got Coach Maves, we got Demetrius, Devin, Austin all with us, and fellas, welcome on in. And Coach, if you could, tell us about the season that just wrapped up on Friday for you guys. Co-champs is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, Rich, it was a great experience. We had the fire truck come in and take some pictures, and the kids were pumped. We got to clinch the conference championship at home against Bigfoot, who was a great team going into the playoffs. I think they're going to fall to Division 4. But the final score was 51-16 maybe. I think that was the final score, and we had to beat 3 good teams to end up with a share of the Rock Valley title with Clinton, who is going to be a very good team in Division 5. And we did beat them head to head. So yeah, it's a great experience. It's a three-peat for us.
Yeah, and congratulations, and well-deserved. And we saw you guys back in week 3. You guys looked excellent. Talk about, too, the playoffs that are starting on Friday. Now, was it the seeding that you expected or not?
Well, Rich, I could go on for about 20 minutes on that. I'm not going. I'm going to be brief. I'm very disappointed with their seeding. I don't know when in the history of the WIAA have you ever had a Rock Valley or a conference champion 8-1 play on the road. We got a 5 seed out of our pod. We're playing at Fort Atkinson, who is 500 in conference, and they're hosting us. So that's what you get when you go to a seeding meeting with all the same conference coaches in the room, and that's what happened. But respect is not something that's given, it's earned, and that's what we're going to do is we're going to earn that respect. We're going to go down to Fort, take care of business, and then we're going to go after Monroe. So I'm excited for the opportunity to earn some respect.
Love the attitude. Now we'll switch it over to some of the players. Devin, what's the best thing about making the playoffs for you?
The best thing about making the playoffs is I get one more week to go out there and hit people. So.
Always a good thing. Now, for Demetrius, who is here, and we've had your brother on a bunch of times, but you get to make your debut. Your defense is one of the toughest in the area. What do you contribute to your guys' success?
Well, I have to go out there each week and perform. I got to do my job. As a cornerback, I'm out there on an island. I got to look good, and I got to make the best out of every opportunity I'm given.
Now, for Austin, what do you think has been your biggest highlight so far this season?
I'd have to say our first game against Clinton. Went into the half not knowing whether we were going to win or lose it, and we ended up coming out with the win, which was very nice because that first game of the year you don't really know how your team is overall, and we came together at halftime and defied my expectations, to be honest.
Yeah, and you guys, came back all season long from that one loss. You end up being co-champs, and like Coach Maves said, a three-peat for you guys. So congratulations on that. Good luck in the playoffs, fellas.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich. Thank you.
Weather's starting to change a little bit, and it's feeling more and more like hockey season, and I tell you what, That's a good thing. As we go back to the ice, as Ben Cowan is here from On Ice Promotions in the Oregon Ice Arena. And Ben, first of all, welcome in. And if you could talk about with the hockey season starting up now, what does that mean for you guys out there?
Well, thanks for having me again, Rich. Yeah, hockey season starting. So we've had tryouts. All the youth hockey teams have pretty much been picked at this point. Youth hockey games will really start kicking up here this first weekend in November, which definitely as a rink is really exciting for us. Start seeing more and more people and just exposing the area to what's new at the Oregon Ice Arena, which we'll talk about in a second. But I guess some things just really quick about hockey since people are actually watching this, which is nice. So parents, okay, and this is a tough one, all right, but at the Oregon Ice Arena, we're gonna institute a new policy this year. Okay, it's like a no tolerance policy, we'll say. So try to stop yelling at the referees, okay? Stop yelling at the coaches, stop yelling at your kids. Just sit there, clap your hands, cheer when they do something good. Really important reason for this is right now in Dane County especially, we're losing referees. So for those of you who know how refereeing works, if you don't have a ref, okay, you can't play a game. So if we don't stop like badgering the referees, we're not gonna be able to play games. USA Hockey won't sanction them, and then our kids are just gonna play pickup and kind of season's kind of done.
Yeah, that's actually really good stuff and good advice, and you see it so much. And it's hard for parents sometimes to do because they're so emotionally involved, but definitely something that they need to do. So good stuff right there. So we'll switch from there, and you wanted to talk a little bit about what's new with On Ice Promotions. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so OIP, I mean, we have a lot going on always. But really right now, kind of going back to that, the parent stuff, is we want to really get the coaches engaged in really what's happening. So we're starting the Coaches Club. So we've talked to WAHA, which is the Wisconsin Amateur Hockey Association, and right now we're working on doing a prototype here in Dane County, which hopefully our Coaches Club will be more youth hockey based. We'll have speakers, we'll have presentations, we'll increase the communication that goes on between WAHA, USA Hockey, and our coaches, which will then stem into the parents and kids. So hopefully we're trying to develop this here, and then eventually this will expand out through the state. Every region will have their own Coaches Club, which will only make our players, ultimately better.
Very cool. Now that it's busier and hockey season has started, we got about 20 seconds. Tell us about the restaurant out at the rink.
Yeah, so this is kind of a fun one for us. So we've wanted it for a while. Finally got it installed. We got the grill, fryers. I have a food manager who's an amazing chef, and we're getting it going. So it's Polly's Grill and Cafe, burgers, pizza, French fries, and really we just want to make the experience when you come to our rink just better.
Good stuff as always. Ben, thanks a lot for coming on. Good advice this week as well. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Rich.
Big thank you to all of our guests. A thank you for watching as well. And also a thank you to some of our big time sponsors, including the Red Zone over on Regent Street. Rick and all the boys, check them out at redzonemadison.com. And of course, Conan Automotive down in Stoughton for being a big supporter of sports here on Wisconsin's 57. We'll see you next time on the Sports News right here on Wisconsin's 57 Sports.